Okay, so what's the industry context, first of all? And that industry context, and more so since COVID-19 economic impact, is about globalization. I mean, supply chain is really changing and in such a way that we are challenging, questioning, reviewing, revisiting the way production in general is organized. And so we, I think, can all expect a shift from current models to a more decentralized, localized type of model. And that's also happening on a geopolitical type of level. It's almost like we are shifting from a world organized around 200 top-down nations to a world which increasingly is going to be organized around a bottom-up pool of smarter cities, 3 million of them, in fact, depending on how we want to count that. So from a logistics perspective, and if I take a long route, mid route, and short or last mile type of perspective, well, we can all see what's gonna happen, right? Certainly on the long route sector, there's a lot of concentration going on. You all remember what happened with Engine Milano a few years back. On the mid and long route, driverlessness, automation, new technologies are starting appearing. But with new technologies, what we need to be also very conscious of is there's probably going to be a lot of new technologies which are going to be about how do we enhance the efficiencies of existing technologies. That's particularly true in the area of the maritime engine and all the legislation coming into fore, where IoT, fuel efficiencies type of outcome obtained through artificial intelligence and IoT and DLT type of application might manifest themselves. So sure, driverlessness, new technology looks good, but do not think that it will be a revolution. I think it's going to be an evolution toward common goals. On the last mile, short circuit type of objective, of course, drone technology is going to be important. And drone mean, again, convergence between DLT, IoT, and AI applied to short circuit type of logistics. So with that in mind, probably a couple of considerations there, more on the passenger side of things, but those same conclusion might apply also to goods. Of course, the current pitch for mobility as a service is all about enhanced mobility, enhanced road safety, and all those benefits that you can see there. How do we do more with less? How do we leverage current infrastructure and enhance the efficiency of those current infrastructure? How do we unleash the value currently locked into our vehicles and our assets? 92% of the value of a car is actually in a conventional setting, never used. Why? Well, because that car sits idle in a parking or a garage. How do we make the most of those values? That's what the current shift to mobility as a service is all about. But this is a two-dimensional type of vision. And the problem with that is, in the short term, there's no guarantee that that model is going to actually solve some of the biggest urbanistic problems, such as traffic jams. In fact, there's even an argument to say it might worsen that situation in the short term. So the reason why I'm mentioning this is because really the future of mobility as a service might be up in the air, might be three-dimensional as opposed to two-dimensional. And we're starting seeing those models emerging in China with companies like Aang, in Germany, a company like Lilium is really working into those 3D type of technology, flying type of urban passenger vehicle. So when we think about mobility as a service, especially in the context of a 3D scenario, I think we need to attach it to what might happen with the build. So it's not just about the vehicle, it's not just about the model, it's also about how does this have an impact on the prop tech type of sector. Here's an example, for example, of a proof of concept which was presented in Bangkok, where there was that idea of a new type of building combining 3D type of pods on top of existing last mile solutions, such as train stations, and combining at the same time a new way of thinking about retailing in the context of localized production, so 3D production on site, as well as agtech and vertical farming type of concept, all combined into one new type of smart building. So here's how PropTech and mobility in the context of a 3D mobility come together in both passenger and goods type of situation.